Good morning. This is Hatha Flow. I'm Kimberly. So, in today's practice, I'm going to recommend having a couple of blocks and a blanket that you might need for your knees, just as an option. So, continue today with our theme of the week being the Anahata chakra. The Anahata, or the heart chakra, encompasses the lungs and the heart, and there's a deep, intimate connection between the heart and the lungs, which we'll explore a bit more as well. It encompasses the heart, the lungs, the vagus nerve, which basically controls your parasympathetic nervous system or your body's relaxation response, and your thymus gland, an endocrine gland, your immune system. So really important stuff. And the Anahata chakra runs horizontally, runs from the center of the heart out into your arms, into your fingertips. So we're working today in the direction of side plank, maybe a little wild thing. We'll see where it goes. So that's the direction we're going in today. So we're going to start by centering. You might elevate your hips on a blanket or a block or a bolster. Maybe easy seat, Sukhasana or Siddhasana. And then reach back, pull the flesh away from your sitting bones. Resting your hands comfortably on your knees, your thighs, or your lap. Now as your sitting bones root you, allow your spine to grow tall. Invite the collarbones to broaden out to the outer tips of the shoulders. The shoulder blades to soften onto your back towards your spine. And slide the corners of your neck back, stacking your head right over your heart. And we'll take this time to arrive with your breath, your natural breath. And you might consider breathing almost like watering a tree. You want to breathe all the way down into the roots. And then we'll bring the palms to stack at the heart. And we're actually going to slide the hands a little more to the left to the true heart, to the true seat of the heart. Now, if you're really listening, you might actually hear the sound of your heart beating, or you might feel it underneath your hands, or both. And using the beating heart almost like a metronome, can you begin to syncopate your heart to your breath? So you might start at 1, and from the beating of your heart, count up as you inhale. And from the beating of your heart, start from 1 and count up as you exhale. Two sides don't necessarily have to match. Let this be a little exploration. One more breath. Now from your heart, I invite you to call to your attention someone who brings you great love or joy. Maybe it's a something. Might be a person, might be an animal, might be a piece of music. So bring that right to the altar of your heart. And as we breathe here a few more moments, placing that heart person or thing or people on your heart, notice if the breath is the same or different. Is it softer? Deeper? And we'll chant the sound of Om one time together, please. First, a breath. Take a nice inhale. And let it go. Exhale. Inhale to sing from your heart. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart. Keeping your hands where they are, float the chin parallel to the floor, eyes can blink open. We'll stretch the arms out. Take a nice inhale here, grow vaster, grow wider, grow taller. As you exhale, hinge to the right, plant your right hand down. Plant your right hand down, reach in the opposite direction with your left arm. Take an inhale here, collarbones are broad. And as you exhale very slowly, draw the gaze down. You might check out your bottom shoulder if it's kissing your ear. Melt the shoulder blade onto your back. Let's take an inhale together. And as you exhale, draw that top arm bone back just a little bit. As always, take what serves you, discard what doesn't. You never want to force the tissue of the body anywhere it doesn't feel ready or safe to go. So honor what your body is asking always. So you might stay here, or you might invite that arm to glide back diagonally towards the back left corner of the rim. The front of your left shoulder is softening to the back of the shoulder. I like to keep the gaze down, but you choose. You might play a bit with the rotation of that humerus bone, that arm bone. The inseam of your arm is that heart line. You might stay with this exploration. We'll take 3 arm circles. Inhale, sweep that arm alongside the ear. Bring it up, back, and around. And then inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, up, back, and around. One more full circle. Inhale. And exhale. And this time, inhale, sweep that arm alongside the ear. Lift it up, 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 up. And as you exhale, lower the arm all the way down. Well, go ahead, lean back, stretch your legs forward, give the knees a bit of a shake. I haven't forgotten the second side. And then we'll switch the crossing of the shins, please. We've been sitting for a while. From here, from your roots grow taller, we'll start the same way. So bring your hands to stack at your heart. Now, as your heart lifts, notice if you're puffing your chest forward, right? So if that's you, can you send a little breath back into the back ribs as well? Head is stacking. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach your arms out. And as you exhale, hinge over to the left. Left hand plants either flat or on your fingertips. Take an inhale here, lengthen in both directions. And then as you exhale, draw that top arm bone back a little bit. And let this be an exploration. You might roll your gaze down. Breathe. You might stay here. You might glide that arm diagonally back. Front of your right shoulder softening to the back of the shoulder. Once again, you might explore the rotation of that arm bone. You might stay here, or 3 arm circles. Inhale, sweep that arm alongside the ear. Bring it up, back, and around. And Inhale, pardon me. Exhale. One more full circle. Inhale. And exhale. This time, inhale, sweep that arm alongside the ear. Let it lift you up, 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 up. And as you exhale, lower the hand all the way down. Go ahead, lean back once again. Give the knees a bit of a shake. And then while we're here, we'll go ahead, sit up tall, reach your arms forward. Make soft fists with your hands. Bring the thumbs on the inside. And we'll circle the wrists and the ankles here. And circling in both directions. And shake it out. So let's shift the shins to one side and make your way into a tabletop position. A hands and knees position on the mat. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Now with your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, look at your hands. And with the creases of your wrists lining up with the front edge of your mat, a little space between the fingers, not jazz hands, but they're energized. Can you find Hasta Bandha here in the hands? So the base of the thumb is rooting, base of the pinky finger is rooting, the inseam of the wrist, or the outer edge of the hand is rooting, or the inner edge rather, and then the outer edge. So we have these four parts, kind of like the feet, right? So Hasta Bandha. Press the floor away. Keep the collarbones broadening, shoulder blades onto your back, and the navel softly drawing towards your spine. Let's take some cat-cows here. As you inhale, draw your heart forward. And as you exhale, round the spine. Lift the navel, hollow out the low belly. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward. Maybe a pause at the top. And exhale, round the spine. And pausing at the bottom. Two more. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Inner thighs roll back and apart. And exhale, round the spine. One more time, please. Inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, round. We'll inhale to a long spine. And then we'll slide your right leg back. You might curl the toes under and press or pulse out to that heel. And then from here, we'll do a little core work. So breathe your right leg parallel to the floor. Wrap all 5 toes down. Unless you have a super sensitive SI, toes might pivot out just a tiny little bit. Hug your inner thighs together and tap your outer left hip back. Take an inhale here, grow longer. As you exhale, round knee to nose. On an inhale, reach it back, heart forward. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale. One more full time. Inhale. Exhale. This time, inhale, reach it straight back. Stay for the exhale, navel to spine. And then cross that right leg behind the left leg. Set the toes down. Press out to that heel and take a peek over your left shoulder at your right heel. You might pivot your left fingertips to the left, or left hand to the left. Maybe your right hand to the right. And breathe. And as that heel presses back, what would it feel like to create more space from your right hip bone to your right ribs? From your right hip bone to your right ribs. One more breath. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first, and then inhale your right leg back, and then set the knee down. Take a pause here. Bring the back of your right hand to the floor. Back of your right hand to the floor so the palm is facing the ceiling. We'll take a few breaths here. You might rock a little bit forward and back or side to side. If you want to juice it up a little bit, bring your thumb and your pinky together. Bring your thumb and your pinky together. And then shake that hand out. And then we'll switch sides. So bring the back of your left hand to the mat. The fingers are facing the knees. Once again, you might rock a little bit forward and back or side to side. You might bring your thumb and your pinky together. That little canal between the padding of the thumb and the pinky is your carpal tunnel. And then shake that hand out. And then we'll go to the second side. So when you're ready, go ahead, slide your left leg back. You might press or pulse. And then when you feel ready, we'll breathe that left leg parallel to the floor. Wrap all 5 toes down, hug your inner thighs together, and tap your outer right hip back. Take a nice inhale here, grow longer. As you exhale, round knee to nose. On an inhale, reach it back, heart forward. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back, heart forward. 2 more, exhale. Inhale. 1 more time, exhale. Inhale, straight back. We're going to stay for the exhale, navel to spine. And then cross your left leg behind your right leg. Set the toes down. And take a peek over your right shoulder at that heel. And pressing back through that left heel. Can you create space from your left hip bone to your left ribs? Can you create space from your left hip bone to your left ribs? And breathe. One more breath. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first. And then inhale your left leg back. We'll set the knee down. Let's take a cat-cow or two. So inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, round your spine. One more time, please. Inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, round. We'll inhale to a long spine. And let's sit back to child's pose, please. It might feel really good to roll your palms open. Allow the outer arms to wrap towards the side walls. You might stay here. You're welcome to bend your elbows. Give yourself a little massage on the tops of the shoulders, sides of the neck. If it's accessible, you might bring your hands into prayer between the shoulders, just an option. This is your practice, so honor what you need in this breath. And then we'll unwind the arms, turn your palms down, gaze between your hands, and inhale forward to a tabletop position, please. We're going to curl the toes under and walk your hands one handprint forward, and then shift your shoulders over the wrists. So can you find Hasta Bandha here again, rooting in the base of the thumb, base of the pinky finger, rooting in the inner arch of the wrist, outer arch of the wrist. Press the floor away. Keep the shoulder blades on your back, navel softly drawing in and up, and then we'll lift the knees up to plank pose, top of a push-up. So can you keep that Hasta Bandha? Shoulders softening onto the back, towards your spine. Grow longer. Breathe. If you need to lower your knees down, it's fine. And then begin to bend your knees, slide your hips up and back, downward facing dog, please. Keep your spine nice and long. You might bend your knees. You might walk out your dog, reaching one heel down at a time. And just for fun, inhale high into your toes. As you exhale, both heels to the right. Inhale high into your toes through center. Exhale both heels to the left. You might repeat that one time if that felt good. You might also rest in child's pose. Eventually settling into your dog. Let's take our first vinyasa of our practice together. So inhale high into your toes, way forward to a plank pose, top of a push-up. Knees can be up or the knees can be down. Let's take an inhale together in one piece all the way to your belly for cobra pose, please. On an inhale, rise up to cobra. We'll stay and breathe. Press your toenails down. Root your pubic bone down. Collarbones are broadening, shoulder blades softening. Back of the neck is lengthening. And you're using your hands here to isometrically drag the mat back. And breathe. Take one more inhale together. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Plant your hands for a plank pose. Curl your toes under. Inhale, plank. Knees might be down. And then exhale, up and back, downward, facing dog, please. Take an inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. Come high into your toes, bend your knees, gaze forward. And let's take a slow walk on our tippy toes to the top of the mat. So keep your feet wide, bend your knees. Two choices. You might catch hold of opposite elbows. Option B, you might interlace your fingers on your low back. Elbows hug towards one another. Shoulder blades hug towards one another. And then maybe the knuckles lift up. They don't have to. Breathe. I'm going to turn to face you, but stay where you are. You can always make a new choice. You might uncross and recross in the opposite direction. And then very slowly, mindfully, unwind the arms to the earth. Soften your knees on an inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana. Listen carefully. As you exhale, begin to bend your knees more. Slide your hips down in line with your knees. Walk your hands up to your thighs and stretch your arms to straight. Chair pose, Utkatasana. And you're welcome to bring the inseams of your legs together, your choice. So tip of the tailbone draping down, navel drawing in and up, the heart is lifting, and then maybe the arms reach up. Make sure there's a little more weight in your heels. So you might even lift up your toes here. Breathe. One more breath. Nice inhale. Sit a little deeper as you exhale. Root down into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, lower the arms down. Tadasana, mountain pose. So resetting your feet, either hip bone distance or all the way together. Take a moment here, close your eyes. Feet grounding, big toe mound, pinky toe mound, center of your heels. You might lift and spread your toes wide, stretching the fascia of the toes. And then relax the toes softly all the way down. Knees are unlocked, micro bent. The groins are soft. Flesh of the buttocks draping towards the heels. And the heart is lifting. And not just the front of the heart, but expanding through the back ribs, expanding out in all directions. And the thorax, or this cage of the ribs. And the head is right over your heart. Take an inhale through your nose, please. Sigh it out. One more time, nice and hip. And sigh it up. We'll take a resting breath. Eyes can blink open. Let's take some half sun salutations. On an inhale, stretch your arms up your favorite way. And as you exhale, bow forward, all the way down you go. On an inhale, halfway rise, inner thighs back, heart forward. Exhale, fold and melt. Leading with your heart, inhale, come all the way up. Stretch up, reach up, look up. Let's open the arms wide. Exhale, Tadasana. Moving on. On an inhale, stretch your arms up, please. As you exhale, bow forward, heart forward, inner thighs back, all the way down you go. On an inhale, halfway rise, heart forward, inner thighs back. As you exhale, fold and melt. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Step your right leg way back, draw your sternum bone forward. Plant your hands down, inhale, plank pose, top of a push-up, knees up or knees down. As you exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing doggy, please. 5 breaths. If a child's pose is calling you, listen for it. Expanding out in all sides of the ribs, even those back ribs are expanding. Hasta Bandha in the hands. And let's bring the big toes all the way together, please. Big toes all the way together. On an inhale, breathe your right leg up and back. Let's keep the hips high. As you exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Hips stay nice and high. Keep lifting right buttocks up and back. On an inhale, reach it back, 3-legged dog. Again, exhale, bend the knee in. Hips will stay high. On an inhale, stretch it back. This time, exhale, bend the knee in, come forward, plank knee to nose, around the spine, lift high into your back toes, gaze forward, and step the foot through. If it doesn't make it, give it help. You're human. You're going to plant your left hand to the edge of the mat and bring your right hand to your heart. And begin to roll your heart open to the right side of your mat. I love the idea of keeping your hand on your heart here. Collarbones are broad. Shoulder blades are sliding onto your back towards your spine. And can you find a little cobra in your upper back? Breathe. On an inhale, we'll reach that arm up. And as you exhale, plant your hand all the way down. We'll inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. Leading with your heart, inhale, come all the way up. Open the arms wide, exhale, Tadasana. Second side, inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, all the way down you go. On an inhale, halfway rise. On an exhale, fold and melt. Bend your knees, plant your hands. On an inhale, left leg steps way back. Draw your sternum bone forward. Plant your hands. Inhale, plank pose. Top of a push-up, knees up or knees down. Dog or vinyasa. As you exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to your back bend. Cobra or up dog. Turn up dog. Only thing touching the floor, your palms and the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward facing doggy, please. 5 breaths. Let's bring the big toes all the way together. On an inhale, breathe your left leg up and back. Hips are squared. As you exhale, bend the knee in. Keep the hips high, please, so your left buttocks is lifting up and back. On an inhale, send it back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee in. Inhale, reach it back. This time, exhale, bend the knee in, shift the shoulders forward, gaze forward, step forward. If it doesn't make it, give it help. Plant your right hand to the edge of the mat, bring your left hand to your heart, and begin to turn your heart open to the left. Begin to turn your heart open. Collarbones stay broad. Shoulders on your back. Find a little cobra in your upper back. With your next inhale, stretch that top arm up. And as you exhale, lower the arm all the way down. Pause. We'll inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. With a long spine, inhale, come all the way up. Open the arms wide, exhale, Tadasana. Let's take an inhale through your nose, please. Out the mouth. I'm going to make an M descending sound. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. That M sound, it's the end of all of our seed mantras, and the end of Om, right? We have that M syllable. And that M buzzing sound actually vibrates the vagus nerve. It's also the same sound we make when we eat ice cream. Let's do a little balancing. Root your feet down, please. Bring your hands to your hips, find a drishti, find a focal point. Shift the weight into your right foot, come out of the toes of your left foot for tree pose. We'll externally rotate that left femur bone. And we'll go ahead, slide the foot to the shin or the inner thigh. You get to choose. You might keep the toes on the floor. Hands find your heart. So hug in here. That foot, if it's on the thigh, is pressing into that femoral artery. As your foot roots down, draw the arches up, especially the inseam of that right foot, that standing foot. Grow taller to the crown of your head. Collarbones are broad. Head is stacked. Maybe the arms reach. I'm bringing the thumb and the middle finger together. Maybe the gaze lifts. Breathe. Listen carefully. Reach your arms straight up. With your next inhale, reach your left knee up. And as you exhale, you're going to step your left leg way back. Catch hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Take an inhale, reach up more. As you exhale, navel to spine, side bend. Keep that navel softly hugging back. You might take a peek at your right heel or your left heel. Breathe. And then inhale the arms up. Bend your knees, and then very slowly come back to standing. Lower the arms down. Take an inhale through your nose, please. Out the mouth. Grounding in your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. Find a drishti. Second side. We'll shift the weight into your left foot. Come into the toes of your right foot. We'll externally rotate that right femur bone and slide the foot up a little bit or a lot of it, yogi's choice. Hug in towards your center. Bring your hands to your heart. Allow the arches of the foot to lift, especially that inner arch. Well, all of the arches, but that inner arch connects to your chakra line, or your energetic body. Lengthen the crown of the head taller. Maybe the arms reach. Maybe the gaze rises. Imagine the corners of your mouth were connected to the strings of your heart. And then reach those arms straight up. You might gaze forward. As you inhale, lift your right knee up. And then you're going to exhale, step that right foot way behind you. Catch hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, navel to spine, side bend. I like to press that right heel back. And you might even take a peek at that right heel. One more breath. And then begin to reach your arms up, bend your knees, navel to spine, and then inhale, come on out, and lower the arms down. How'd you do? You can shake out anything that needs shaking. And let's move that through the body. One Surya A. On inhale, stretch your arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, all the way down you go. On an inhale, halfway rise. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, either step to plank or float to chaturanga, dog, or vinyasa. I'm going to reach my hips up and back to dog. On an inhale, breathe your right leg up and back. Right leg up and back. I'm not going to mirror you here. As you exhale, step that foot all the way through. If it doesn't make it, give it help. You're going to pivot your left heel flat, heel to arch, and windmill open to warrior two. Windmill open to warrior two. Front knee is lunging forward. Your left ribs, your left kidney is melting back, leaning back. Breathe. Gazing right out of your front middle finger. Let's find a little movement here. Listen carefully. Let's roll your palms open. Keep the shoulder blades softening down the back. Bring your gaze forward, turn your palms forward. And as you inhale, straighten your front knee, give yourself a hug, a good hug. And then exhale, press your arms open, warrior two. Again, inhale, straighten that front knee, give yourself a hug. Exhale, warrior two. And one more time, inhale, give yourself a hug. Exhale, warrior two, and stay. We'll flip that front palm open, reach a little bit forward, inhale, reverse your warrior up to go over just for a breath. And then as you exhale, follow the breath all the way down. Frame your front foot, pivot your back heel up, pause. You're gonna lower that back knee down, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Maybe your thumbs hook here. As your fingertips reach up, navel softly drawing it up, heart lifting. Yielding to gravity. You're more than welcome to lower your hands down to the floor or blocks. Breathe. Let's take one more inhale here. As you exhale, unwind the arms and curl your back toes under, pick up your back knee, please. On an inhale, three-legged dog. Send your right leg up and back. Might feel good to bend your knee like you're going to kick yourself in the buttocks. You might stay here. You might stack your hip. You're welcome to explore some movement of the hip or the knee or the ankle. And then re-square that leg, re-square the hip. Take an inhale. As you exhale, set the foot down. Set your knees down, child's pose, please. And rest. Sending the breath into the back of the body. When you're ready, I'll meet you in downward facing dog. No rush. On an inhale, breathe your left leg up and back. Use your core to exhale, step that foot all the way through. Pivot right heel flat, windmill open to warrior two. So once again, I'm not mirroring you here, so make sure this is the second side. Basic rule of thumb, if it feels familiar, it probably is. Front knee lunging forward. Can you wrap your left kidney, left adrenal back, or really your right kidney, right adrenal back? Grow taller. And then we'll find a little movement here. So roll your palms open. Melt the shoulder blades down your back. Turn your gaze forward, palms forward. And then inhale, straighten that front knee. Give yourself a hug. And then exhale, press your arms open, warrior two. Again, inhale, straighten the knee. Give yourself a hug. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, inhale. Exhale and stay. We'll flip your front palm open. Reach a little bit forward. Inhale, reverse your warrior up to go over just one breath. And as you exhale, follow the breath all the way down. Runner's lunge. You'll lower your back knee down, flatten the foot. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Maybe you hook your thumbs in the opposite way. As the fingertips reach, navel drawing in and up, supporting the lifting of the heart. Breathe. If it feels too much, if you're collapsing down into your low back, press a little bit out of it. Reach up more. Back ribs lifting up more. One more breath. Let's take a nice inhale together. And as you exhale, unwind your arms. Pick up your back knee, pause. On an inhale, left leg back, three-legged dog. You might bend your knee like you're going to kick yourself in the buttocks. You might stay here. You might roll your hip open, stacking the hips. You might find some movement of your knee or your ankle or your hip. Try to keep dog in your upper body. Try to keep dog in your upper body. And then re-square that leg, re-square the hip. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the foot down. Lower the knees down. Child's pose. And circling your wrists, please. Circling your wrists. And then stretching your arms forward. Let's come into downward facing dog, please. Downward facing dog. Hasta Bandha in your hands. Spine is long. Let's bring the big toes all the way together, please. Big toes all the way together. On an inhale, come forward, plank pose, top of a push-up. And let's begin to plant your right hand about 4 inches in front of the shoulder. I'm going to mirror you. Right hand about 4 inches in front of the shoulder. Begin to pivot to the inseam of that right foot. Now you might bring your top foot to the floor, or you might stack your feet, and then reach that left arm to the sky. You might lift your gaze up. Breathe. Toes spreading wide, fascia of the toes spreading. Arms reaching from your heart to your fingertips. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, lower the hand down. Downward facing doggy, please. We'll bring the big toes together. We'll take the second side. On an inhale, come forward, plank pose. Place your your left hand about 4 inches forward. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot. Stack your feet or bring your top foot forward. And then reach your right arm to the sky. Vashisthasana. Feet are stacking, toes are spreading. Finding Tadasana from your feet to the crown of your head. Ribs expanding in all directions. Inhale when you're ready. As you exhale, plant the hand down. Dog or vinyasa. I'll meet you in child's pose. then drag your hands back towards your knees and round yourself up to watch for the moment. So I want to give the option to repeat that. You can repeat that, you can stay, or you can rest in child's pose. I'm going to give an option to bring it one step further. It's not better, just different. So watch for a moment. We'll start once again, setting up our hands Hasta Bandha, downward facing dog. We'll start the same way, so the big toes will come together. I'll inhale forward to my plank pose. My right hand will move about 4 inches forward, so when I roll, it's about 90 degrees from the shoulder. I'm going to pivot to the inseams of my feet. Once again, that top foot might step forward, totally fine. Or the arm reaches to the ceiling. So once again, here we are, Vashisthasana. So you might stay here. Option B, we'll be here 3 breaths. And then we'll lift that top leg up. We'll step the foot behind you, bring your hand to your heart. And then inhale, lift your heart up into your hand, lift your hips. Maybe that arm reaches. Breathe. And to come out of the pose, you're going to reach that arm up. Gaze either forward or down. Inhale, Vashisthasana. Inner thighs hug together. Plank pose. And then dog or vinyasa. And then we'll take a little rest between sides. And then we'll do the second side. What do you think? Let's try it. So when you're ready, downward facing doggy. Just to make it more interesting, we'll do the second side first. So bring your big toes together, please. Bring your big toes together. On an inhale, come forward to a plank pose. You're going to step your left hand about 4 inches forward. Begin to roll to the pinky edge side of your left foot. Maybe that top foot steps forward, or maybe the foot stacks. Maybe your arm reaches. Hasta Bandha in your hands. Maybe reach that top arm up more. Breathe. You might stay right here. We'll go ahead, lift that right leg, and then step the foot back, bring your hand to your heart. And then inhale, lift your heart up into your hand, and then reach that arm maybe back. Heart is lifting, hips are lifting. I'm high in the ball of my right foot. Breathe. To come out of it, reach that arm up, gaze forward or gaze down. On an inhale, plank, Vashisthasana, side plank. Plank pose. Dog or vinyasa. Let's take a child's pose. Circle your wrists. That was fun. Let's take the second side. So I'll meet you in downward facing doggy, please. Downward facing dog. You'll bring your big toes together, shifting forward to a plank pose. Step your right hand about 4 inches forward. We're going to peel to the pinky edge. Maybe the feet stack. Maybe that arm lifts. Maybe that top foot steps forward. You choose. 3 breaths. Collarbones are broad. You might stay here or lift your top leg, left leg up. You're going to step the foot back, bring your hand to your heart. And then inhale hard into your hand. Wild thing. Maybe that arm reaches back. Take them out of the pose. Reach that arm up, gaze forward or down. Inhale, side plank. Plank pose. Dog or vinyasa. I'll meet you in child's pose. You might reach your arms back this time. Knees might be together. And breathe. So Vajrasthana, even Wild Thing, really get into that heart line in a very dynamic way. So when you are ready, you'll drag your hands back towards your knees, round yourself up. You'll shift your hips to one side. You can stretch your legs forward, give your knees a bit of a shake. Now, I want you to have one block reachable. One block reachable. So you'll take your block near the side of your yoga mat, just in case you need it. And scoot yourself forward. Now you're going to make your way onto your back. There's no one way to do anything. If you want a little more core work, you might interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. Take an inhale, sit up tall. As you exhale, navel to spine, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep pressing your palms forward. Halfway down, you'll gaze at your navel. And then reach your palms back, stretch your legs forward. You can stretch, you can wiggle. You can yawn. Not a nice way to release the wrist a bit more. And then you'll unwind your arms. And we'll set up for 3 rounds of bridge pose. So you'll bend your knees, feet flat on the earth. And can you bring the feet close enough to you that the weight's not only in the heels of your feet, but also the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound. If you want to use that block between the thighs and the knees, be my guest. Now from here, we're going to keep the gaze straight up. Just try not to turn your head as we walk through this together. We're going to start with the arms in robot arms. So the elbows are bent, almost like chaturanga. The palms are turning towards one another. We call this robot arms because it looks like robot arms. Allow the collarbones to broaden. And press the backs of the arms back. Tuck the outer edges of your shoulders back. You might even walk them a little bit closer towards one another, like you're tucking in the corners of a sheet. Take a breath. And then as you inhale, lift your hips up. Keep pressing the backs of your arm bones down. Flesh of your buttocks lengthening towards the backs of the knees. And as the knees lengthen forward, reach the back of the heart backer. Maybe the arms extend. You might catch your mat. You might interlace your fingers. Yogi's choice. You might walk your shoulder blades a little closer towards one another. Breathe. If the outer corners of your shoulders start to lift up towards the ceiling, widen your arm bones, please. Widen your arm bones, if that's you. Take a nice inhale breath together. When you're ready, exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And we're going to rest at the top. So you might widen your feet. You might drop your knees together. Rest one hand on your low belly and one hand at your heart. 3 breaths. And we'll set up for round 2 of 3. So unwind your arms. Reroot your feet, your padas. So root your feet down, and once again, we'll bend the elbows coming into robot arms. The back of the neck is nice and long. Press the backs of the arm bones back, tuck the outer corners of your shoulders back. You might walk them under a little bit. Take a breath. And then inhale, lift your hips up. Keep pressing the outer corners of your shoulders back. And then maybe extend the arms towards your heels. You might interlace your fingers the other way. Breathe into the roof of your mouth. And take one more inhale together. You might separate your arms. And as you exhale, roll it down. And we'll rest. Maybe the same way. Maybe windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And then we're going to set up for supported bridge. If you're brand new to supported bridge, you might go ahead and watch first, and then we'll enter it together. So we can all watch for a moment, and then we'll do it together. So if you're new to it, you'll reset your feet, have your block reachable so you don't have to turn your head to find it. We'll start the same way. Backs of the arms back, tips of the shoulders back. We'll take a breath, and then we'll lift the hips up. Find a little more length. Heart moving forward. You can imagine the spine almost like you're untying a bow. If you stretch one side, it's fine. If you unwind both sides, you have even more length. So creating length all the way down the spine. And then without turning your head, find your block, either flat or medium, under your sacrum. You can bring it high, it's just very energizing. Under your sacrum, tip of the tailbone draping off the sacrum. I'll unwind the arms there. You might interlace, you might hold on to your block or your mat. So when you're ready, I'll meet you here. I'll meet you here. Take your time. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Perfectly fine. When the tip of the tailbone drapes off the very edge, it might create a little more back bend. You might stay here. You might turn this into a gentle inversion. Please do not turn your head to look. Listen carefully. One knee at a time, you'll lift your knees right over your hips. You'll flex or flaunt your feet. Inseams of the legs might come all the way together and reach your legs straight up, 90 degrees. Knees can be soft. And breathe. Tacking your shoulders back. When you're ready, begin to rebend your knees. And 1 foot at a time, set your feet down. You'll lift your hips, move the block to the side, and hug your knees in towards the chest. It might feel good to come into happy baby pose. Knees wide, feet flexing to the sky. You might hold the backs of your thighs. You might hold your feet, inner or outer feet. As the thigh bones draw down, press the feet up. As the thigh bones draw down, press the feet up. And breathe. Very, very slowly begin to bring the soles of the feet together. Pause. And then glide the knees all the way together. Let's keep the right knee hugging in. Slide your left leg long down the mat, please. Back of the leg all the way to the floor. Bring your hands to the back of your right thigh. Press your thigh forward. Flex your right foot and extend your right leg up towards the ceiling a little bit or a lot of it. Now, can you press the back of your thigh forward into your hands and your hands back into that hamstring? Your right low back is softening towards the earth. And I want to give the option to stay right here. Or take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, invite that right leg back. You might walk the hands up. As an option, you might exhale, curl forehead towards your knee. And then exhale, walk it all the way down, bend that knee into the chest, catch the shin. You'll reach your right arm out to the right, take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw that knee a little bit or a lot of bit across the body. If you need or want support under that top knee, you might slide a block there. I like to glide that right arm diagonally back. It's your heart line. And breathe. One more full breath here. Nice inhale when you're ready. We'll stay as you exhale, navel towards your spine. And slow and controlled inhale, come on up. And you'll give both knees a good hug. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And then we'll switch sides. So left knee in, right leg extends nice and long, back of the leg to the earth, all 5 toes wrapping up. And we'll catch the back of your left thigh. And press your left thigh forward, flex your left foot and ankle forward, and extend your leg towards the sky. A little bit or a lot of it. You might even slide your hands down a little more to the belly of the muscle. And press your hamstrings forward into your hands back into the hamstrings. And your left low back is melting towards gravity. You might stay right here or take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, invite that leg back. You might even curl it up. And then lower it down. Give that knee a good hug. Take an inhale when you're ready. And as you exhale, glide that knee to the right, left arm to the left. And breathe. Once again, maybe there's support underneath that left knee. Maybe you glide that left arm diagonally back. Maybe. You choose. One more breath. Nice inhale. Stay as you exhale. Navel towards your spine. Slow and controlled. Inhale, coming up. Reset your feet. Give your knees a good hug, please. A good squeeze. Really important to neutralize the low back after twisting. As you hug your knees in, you might stay here. Or you might exhale, curl yourself up into a tight little ball. Lowering your head back and stretching out to final relaxation, final Shavasana. Take your time, please. Take your time. You might slide support underneath the knees. As you arrive back, if you have any leftover tension, tightness, anything at all, take a smooth inhale, draw it up. And open the mouth, let it go. One more time, smooth inhale. And let it go. As we bake here in Shavasana, I think today I'll read a quote by Marianne Williamson. She says, "Love is what we are born with. Fear is what we learn. The spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and prejudices and the acceptance of love back in our hearts. Love is the essential reality and our purpose on earth. To be consciously aware of it, to experience love in ourselves and others, is the meaning of life. Meaning does not lie in things. Meaning lies in us. To give the option to stay reclined. We're going to do a little pranayama meditation this morning. So if you prefer to rise, I want you to take your time. You might wiggle your fingers and your toes. You might circle your wrists and your ankles. Stretch and yawn. If that's you, you'll begin to bend your knees. You might hug them in. And roll to rest on your right side in a fetal shape. Upper arm as a pillow. Take your time to press yourself all the way up to a seat of meditation. Maybe the eyes stay closed. Spine is nice and tall. And like we started, we'll bring the palms to your heart, but we'll really slide them to your true heart. You might feel the beating of your heart under your hands. You might deeply listen for the sound of your heart as it beats. And breathing with the heart as if your heart was your metronome. You might count the breath. Syncopating the rhythm of your breath and your heart. Then gliding the hands more towards the center. And let's bring the palms all the way together here. You can pivot the fingers a little bit forward. And we're going to begin to rub the soles of the hands together briskly, building a little heat between the palms. And then reaching the arms up to the sky, 60 degrees, flexing your palms up today. Stimulating that heart meridian that runs right down your inner arm to your heart. And from your heart, calling to mind 3 things that you are grateful for right now. Let's take a nice inhale together. Exhale your hands back to your heart. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart. Honoring that light within. And from my heart to yours, namaste. Beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for sharing the last 75 minutes with me and everyone who played today. If you have questions, comments, feedback, concerns, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out. You could email me at kimberly@kimberlywharton.com. kimberly@kimberlywharton.com. Or find me on Facebook, Kimberly Wharton Yoga or Kimberly Wharton, and send me a message. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you did today in side plank or wild thing. And hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Have a beautiful